What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about something that I personally went through in my life, and that is essentially experiencing being like a NEET. And if you guys don't know what being a NEET stands for, it essentially just means not employed and or not in education, not in training. So essentially you're essentially unemployed. That's what it means. And pretty much it's been, I would say, from my experience of living this type of lifestyle, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And what I mean by that is that there are times when you actually enjoy being a NEET, and then there are just other days when you just want the cycle to end. And hopefully from based on what I share from my experience, maybe you guys can learn or gain some insight on how I went through it and what are the things that you would expect within this lifestyle. So being a NEET, like I said, it's like a double-edged sword. I remember the first times when I essentially became a NEET was I think it was after it was during the COVID pandemic, and this is when I was in college, and I was doing computer programming at the time. But then this was something that I actually did not want to do within my future the more I thought about it. And because of that, there's also I had this sense of fear of failing, and I just decided not to pursue it further. So I dropped out. Well, was it I think it was my second semester, and then I decided to see what other fields that I wanted to pursue. So this is the time when I was technically I wasn't a NEET, but I was unemployed, but I was searching for other fields and other skill sets that I could learn and acquire. So I wanted to get into the trades. However, when I decided to think about learning the trades and stuff, then I saw that it takes for instance, becoming an electrician, it takes a minimum of 5 years, and that would essentially take a while for me to even get my foot in the door. And the more I thought about it, the more I decided, I was just you know what, maybe this is not the field for me. And then I pretty much went through the pandemic just working these odd jobs. I was doing kind of web developer jobs type stuff. And this is when I was just essentially just searching or roaming around just to see what I wanted to do. But I think this was kind of the first time when, after a couple months later, when I actually decided how it actually feels being a NEET. And to be honest, even during the first few times when I was a NEET, I really enjoyed it because it gave you so much time, it gave you so much things to do. And essentially if you're working a 9-to-5 job or any business or whatever, you're essentially just stuck in that cycle, and there's nothing you can do about it. Your time is very limited. You have to focus on your job, and then that job takes most of your time, and then you can't even do any other things within your time, and then it just goes from there. And then you start to wonder yourself damn, how do I enjoy life? So being a NEET kind of just makes you really get in tune to that, where now you have time. Now you can just you can sleep in, you can live, do whatever you want. And I really enjoyed it. And since I'm an introvert on top of that, I'm not fully introverted, but I'm kind of I'm definitely more introverted than extrovert. I'm kind of an ambivert, but I'm more towards the introverted side. So this is a plus for me. I was just man, to be honest, I don't really like hanging out with big groups of people, and me sitting home alone, especially during the COVID pandemic. I'm not gonna lie, there were times when I did want to go out. It does kind of get boring when you're just sitting at home all the time, but for the most part, I actually didn't. I honestly, I don't mind it. I'd rather just be at home, enjoy my time. Play my games. I was playing a lot of PC games, and just trying out new things. But then after that, they were just essentially, they were kind of cycles of this. So this was like my first time being a NEET. I think like a couple years after that, I found like some jobs within those years. I was working some jobs here and there for like a couple months. Some of them were contract basis. Some of them like I actually got like fired from this one job, and it was like a security job. And then once I got fired from that security job, then that was when I experienced like this NEET life again. And then for a few months, then I got like this other job. I was working, it was like a summer job, just doing pest control. I was doing that for a bit. When I was done within that contract, again, I was kind of like just left off, right? Like I was just became a NEET again. And the cycle has continued till now, where there was like essentially like in the summer of that year, I was like doing like my separate studies. Then from then on, when I finished that, I wanted to look for jobs. So as I was trying to like look for jobs, like within these span of like 4 and 5 months before I even recorded this video, I realized that it was so hard to like get any jobs. Like the job market here, like since I live in Canada, like the job market here is horrible, especially with all like the problems that immigration has caused, and the lack of like in the economy is just becoming so bad. The job market is being super oversaturated within every single field you can think of. It's not even just like even like I remember like getting a general labor job like in 2019 or 2018 was so much easier. Like I would like apply like on Indeed for instance, or even just go like walk in, and then within a day or two I'll get like a response for an interview, and then I can just go from there, right? I get the job and I'm boom, like I'm hired. But nowadays it's like you're not just competing with one person, you're competing with at least like thousands, if not even thousands, like 2,000 of people applying for the same job that you're applying. And you know what's worse is that majority of these people are actually immigrant students. So me being a Canadian born citizen, I can't even like get like simple jobs, like for instance like becoming a security guard again, or working like an odd job, like let's just say like a grocery store or something, because majority of these people are being hired for that. And that will be like on another separate topic. But so essentially, being a NEET for so many times, it was until now where it kind of like you see like the dark side of being a NEET. And essentially the dark side of being a NEET is when you start to see that like every day kind of like just becomes the same. Like you wake up, you do the same thing over and over again. You're just like, damn. Like you try to like watch like these self-improvement videos like on YouTube. That's been going on, which was like a trend. And like it was bad. Like there's certain like views and advices that I implemented within my life. For instance, like they say like, okay, go to the gym, you know, start working out. Oh, okay, I did that. I built a decent body. Now I just gotta like essentially go on a cut now. I did all of that. Then after that, they were saying that like, oh, like build a set schedule for yourself. Like wake up early in the morning, do this. Like make sure like you set everything on a timely base. Be very organized within your time. Your time is valuable. This blah blah blah. And I followed like every single advice that they did, but the thing is like when you're in NEET and you know like you feel like, and let's just say you don't want to like pursue like something that's even, I don't know, like another field or like a skill set or whatever, or let's just say you don't have like a proper direction in life. When you do all like these things, like they're kind of like meaningless to you, because like you wake, let's just say, okay, fine, I wake up at 6 a.m. You know, like I was just like, you know what, okay, fine, I'll wake up at 6 a.m. I want to be productive, I want to do something. You have like so many ambitions in your mind, but it's not like, if you don't have like a set of direction within your life, or like a purpose within your life that drives you to this day, then it's like, you know, well, what are you waking up early for? And once that happens, you start like, you wake up like every day just becoming even more depressed. And this is where like the bad shit starts to get in with the new NEET. And then you realize that like every single day when you wake up, it's like a constant cycle of like negativity. Your self-esteem really takes a like a negative toll on you, because then you start thinking things like, damn, like I'm getting older, you know, I'm living the same life like I used to like 2-3 years ago. My parents are getting older, my brother's getting older, everyone around me is getting older, my peers from high school seem like they're becoming more successful than me. And then you just get in like in this rut. So, and if I'm being honest with you, the only reason why I started doing these YouTube videos is because like it's only until now I recently discovered what I actually really wanted to do. And something, it's like when they say like, you know, try to find your passion, try to find something that really just drives you to the point where you just want to wake up every day in the morning and start doing that. This is something that I always wanted to do. It's only until now that I recently discovered that I wanted to just start making YouTube videos. I wanted to become a content creator. So that's essentially about that. But I just wanted to like just share my experience in being a NEET, and I feel like the lessons that you guys can learn from my experience is that, you know, the main lesson that we should all take from this is that find like a purpose in your life, you know, like it. And that's the thing, your purpose should be the foundation within everything that you do. It doesn't matter what you want to achieve. If you want to become successful in your business, you want to have like a good 9-to-5 career, you want to be a very good student, ask yourself why you're doing this. And not only ask yourself why you're doing this, but ask yourself like, who am I doing this for? You get what I mean? Like, am I doing this because like, oh, I want to like seek validation from other people, I want to seek validation from my parents, I want to seek validation from my peers? Or is it something that I deep down introspected, I reflected on my life, I started thinking to myself like, okay, this is something that I want to do, like deep down, like this, because it has to be something that you want to do like every single day, where it's like the moment you wake up, that's like the first thing on your mind. You're like, for instance, like I'll give you my example, I want to like start recording YouTube videos, so like every time I wake up nowadays, it's like that's like the first thing on my mind. So, and I feel like this is something that we should all learn from and just implement it within our lives. So that's me experiencing a life of a NEET. And also one thing I wanted to add on is that like it kind of also gets to you when, you know, like your peers like start asking you like, oh, you know, what do you do nowadays? And then it's like you kind of get like in this awkward situation where you kind of just say they're like, oh yeah, you know, like I studied college, you know, like I was in this field and I'm just doing this. Or, you know, like you trying to like just make like any like bullshit excuse because that's the thing, like majority of people, they ask you like, how are you doing? And then immediately they just ask you, okay, what do you want, like what are you doing with your life? It's like, first of all, you know, you haven't really spoke with me for God knows how many years, and then that's like the first thing you want that's on your mind, like, oh, like what do I do for a living? Like you don't ask me like, oh, like how are you doing, or, you know, like how's life, you know, ask like more meaningful questions, right? But I mean, that's just the reality we live in. But that's like another downside of being a NEET. So I just wanted to like add that as well. But anyways, I feel like, you know, I'm gonna stop here, and hopefully like I'll make more similar videos on this. And I just want to like, you know, see what your thoughts are about this topic, you know, and maybe like you guys have similar experiences of being a NEET. I would like to see that in the comments section as well. So please like and subscribe on this channel, and hopefully I get to see you guys soon.